Hello, everyone. My name is Evelyn, and today I want to share a story that still gives me chills when I think about it. It's about how my mother-in-law, Rita, finally faced the consequences of her actions. Actions she thought she could always get away with. The other two people in this story are my husband, Lucas, and Father Peter, and both of them have kindly given me permission to tell this story publicly. This isn't just an ordinary family disagreement. It's about manipulation, control, and a twisted kind of love that turned poisonous. It all started with the final and most horrible thing my mother-in-law Rita ever did to me, an act so low that it changed everything forever. Rita had always been an incredibly controlling and abusive woman. She had a way of twisting words, turning situations, and making herself the victim no matter what happened. Lucas's father passed away when Lucas was still very young, leaving just the two of them alone for years. And instead of healing, Rita became completely dependent on Lucas, emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically. She clung to him as if he were her entire world, treating him less like a son and more like a replacement for her late husband. She chased away every girlfriend Lucas ever had. Anyone who showed even a little interest in him somehow ended up vanishing from his life after a short while. So you can probably imagine her reaction when Lucas told her he was getting married. To me. She went absolutely ballistic. She shouted, screamed, and said the cruelest thing she could think of. She didn't even come to our wedding because she was convinced that her absence would make Lucas cancel it. But to her surprise and disappointment, we got married anyway. We even eloped quietly, thinking it might bring her around after she cooled off. Instead, it only made things worse. When Rita found out, she went into full attack mode. She blamed me for everything, for stealing her son, for taking him away from his family, for ruining her life. Lucas tried so hard to calm her down, but she refused to forgive either of us. She pretended I didn't exist. Even when we visited her hometown, she would talk about me in the third person, as if I wasn't standing right there beside Lucas. And when Lucas got a wonderful new job in my hometown and we moved there, she lost her mind. She accused me of manipulating him into leaving her behind. That went on for nearly a year. Endless drama, guilt trips, and emotional blackmail, until one day she surprised us. Lucas received a call from Rita. Her tone was unusually soft. "Lucas," she said sweetly, "I was thinking about visiting you both. I haven't seen your new house, and maybe I can also try to build a relationship with Evelyn." Lucas was overjoyed. "Mom, that's great news. You can come anytime. We have plenty of space. Evelyn and I will be happy to have you." Then he looked at me with hopeful eyes. "Right, Evelyn." I smiled, though deep down I was uncertain. "Of course," I said. "If she really wants to make peace, she's welcome." Lucas had been missing his mother, and even though I had my doubts, I wanted to support him. Maybe, just maybe, she had changed. But from the moment Rita stepped through our front door, I knew I was wrong. She took over everything. She followed Lucas everywhere, wouldn't even let him sit next to me on the couch, and interrupted every conversation we tried to have. At night, she barged into our room, knocking loudly if the door was locked, insisting she couldn't sleep without talking to her son. Despite saying she wanted to build a bond with me, she barely looked in my direction. Every time I spoke, she either ignored me or changed the topic. Things finally reached their breaking point one evening when we took her to a restaurant, one of the best in the city, hoping to make her feel welcome. As soon as we placed our order, Rita began her usual commentary. "I think you should check on our order," she said snidely. "The service in this city is terrible. I don't trust these people to make drinks right. What does Evelyn's father even do here? Is he a Walmart employee or something? How do people survive in such a place?" "Mom," Lucas snapped, embarrassed. "That's rude and unnecessary. The city is great, maybe even better than our old one. Please, stop being disrespectful." "It's fine, Lucas," I said calmly. "Rita can have her opinions. She can check the drinks herself if she wants. But I promise you, the staff here are very professional. Rita turned toward me sharply, her voice like poison. I didn't ask for your opinion, Evelyn. You should learn to keep quiet sometimes. She then got up and stormed toward the bar. Lucas looked down, ashamed, and mumbled an apology for her behavior. As he checked his phone, I quietly kept my eyes on Rita. I saw her lean toward the waiter, whisper something, and slip something small into her hand. She placed it on the tray, whispered again, and quickly returned to her seat. The waiter looked startled and then caught my eye. I nodded slightly, signaling that I'd seen everything. A few minutes later, the waiter returned with our drinks. He placed them down, paused when he reached me, and said carefully, "Here's your drink, boss. But I didn't make it the way your mother-in-law told me to. I figured you wouldn't approve." Lucas looked up, confused. "Boss? Evelyn, why is he calling you that? What's going on?" I smiled faintly. "Oh, I guess I forgot to mention, Rita. The man you just insulted, my father, owns this restaurant, and I co-own it with him. That's why the staff call me boss." Rita's face went pale. She started trembling slightly. Lucas's expression changed as he turned toward her. "Mom? What did the waiter mean when he said you told him to do something to Evelyn's drink?" Rita fumbled her words, stammering. He must have misunderstood me. I only changed my own drink order. He must be confused." I leaned back, my tone calm but firm. "Really? Then why don't we let him explain it clearly? Go ahead, tell us what happened." The waiter hesitated, then spoke. "Mrs. Rita here tried to pay me $2,500 to put this substance into your drink. She said it was harmless, but wanted you to have it without knowing. I refused and came straight to you, boss." Lucas's face drained of color. "Mom, is that true?" Rita panicked, shaking her head. "No, it's all lies. Evelyn set this up to make me look bad. You can't believe her." "Really?" I said coolly. "Then you won't mind if we check the security cameras, right? We'll see exactly what happened." At the mention of CCTV footage, Rita's face froze. She started to cry, pleading, "Lucas, please don't do this. I'm your mother. You can't think I'd ever hurt you or your wife." Lucas looked torn, but firm. "Mom, if you're innocent, the footage will prove it. If not, then I'll know the truth." I excused myself to speak to my father privately. "Dad," I said in his office, "we need to pull the camera footage from the bar. Rita tried to mess with my drink." My father's eyes darkened with fury. "What? She tried to harm you? That woman has no shame." "Trust me, Dad," I said, keeping calm. "I have a plan. I'm not going to lose my temper. I'm going to make her answer for this." A few minutes later, Lucas and Rita were called into the office. My father played the footage. On the screen, it was all there. Rita handing a small packet to the waiter, pointing at my drink, and slipping him money. The room went silent. Lucas's jaw tightened, his hands balled into fists. "Mom," he said in a low, trembling voice, "you lied to me. You really tried to do this?" Rita broke down completely, crying and clutching his arm. "I didn't mean to hurt her. I just wanted to spike her drink a little, make her dizzy. I thought if she embarrassed herself, maybe you'd realize she wasn't right for you." Lucas's voice cracked with anger. "You tried to drug my wife? Are you insane, Mom? What's wrong with you?" Rita sobbed. "It was harmless. I only wanted to spend more time with you. Since your marriage, you've chosen Evelyn over me, and I hated it. I just wanted you to pay more attention to me. So to get me out of the picture, you decided drugging me was the best idea. What kind of cheap crime thriller have you been reading?" I snapped shut up. "Evelyn, you have no right to speak between me and my son. This is why I wanted you out of Lucas's life. You've ruined everything." Rita spat venomously, Mom. How can you say that? Evelyn is my wife and has every right to speak on this matter. She is the victim. Here, not you. You are the one who ruined everything. I don't think we can come back. From this, stay away from me. And Evelyn, we want nothing to do with you. Anymore, don't try coming by the house. If you do anything thinking stupid, there will be consequences. Lucas warned Rita, started to panic even more, sobbing and still defending herself, despite everything. She blamed me for her actions. Lucas had had enough of her nonsense and continued to berate her. She finally addressed me directly, her voice filled with hatred. You witch, I will never forgive you for this. I will destroy you. Just you. Wait. No one can take my son from me and walk away without consequences. I will ruin your life. Oh, really, Rita? You have the audacity to still stand here and threaten my daughter in front of me. What will you do about it, Peter? Throw me out of their restaurant. Do it. And I will still find a way to get back at you. She challenged. You think I will just throw you out of my restaurant? Absolutely not. You tried to drug my daughter and bribe my waiter. I'm reporting you to the police. My dad declared firmly. No. You can't do that. You can't call the cops on me. You can't get me arrested. Rita screamed, panic-stricken. Yes, he can, Rita. We have solid evidence of you bribing a waiter. To tamper with my drink and drugs, the cops will have a field day with you. You'll be going to jail. I stated calmly. Rita was in shock while Lucas remained, impassive, fully supporting me. My dad had already called the cops who had just arrived and entered, through the back door seeing them. Rita became hysterical. She grabbed Lucas and pleaded, Lucas, are you going to stand there and do nothing? Your witch wife and father-in-law have called the cops on your own mom. You need to do something and save me. Why would I do that, Mom? They haven't done anything wrong. If I were in their place, I would have done the same thing. What you did was despicable. You literally committed multiple serious crimes. Lucas replied coldly, Today, do you really want to see your mother in jail? Lucas, will you be happy to see me get arrested? What about my reputation? Rita cried out up desperately. You destroyed your own reputation when you committed a crime to harass my wife. Yes, I would be happy to see you in jail. It looks like there's no other way to make sure you learn your lesson. You think I didn't notice how you kept blaming Evelyn for your actions? I'm not a weak husband who won't defend his wife just to appease his mother. I don't care if you get arrested, I won't bail you out, or help you with anything. Be prepared for a restraining order as well, Lucas replied, his voice firm and resolute. Rita turned pale and started to shake her eyes wide with fear. She looked at the cops who were taking our statements and watching the video. Then they swiftly walked up to her and cuffed her. Rita kicked and screamed, trying to make a scene, but thankfully the noise of the restaurant music drowned her out. The cops dragged her away, promising to update us about the situation after the cops left. Lucas broke down in tears. Years of frustration with his mother and her toxic ways finally overwhelmed him. He started to apologize, sobbing into his hands. I'm so sorry. Evelyn, I'm a horrible husband. I left my mother close enough to try and hurt you. She almost jeopardized Pierre's business by bringing drugs here. I'll never forgive myself for this. I don't even think I can show my face to you guys. That is nonsense. Lucas, I said, my voice steady. You did what any son would do. You simply wanted your mother and wife to get along. You had no way of knowing that Rita would go this far. Trust me, none of us are mad at you, right? Dad, you are right. Evelyn, my dad chimed in. Lucas, you need to stop blaming yourself for someone else's mistakes. You're a good man and nothing like your mother. I just want you to let Rita suffer the consequences of her actions. I don't want her to try and hurt my daughter again. Can you promise that? Yes, Peter. I promise. Lucas said, his voice firm. I will not interfere with the case in any way. I will allow you to handle it on your own after what Mom has done. There is no way on helping her out or allowing her back into our lives. What I said a few minutes ago is true. I am going to file for a restraining order against Rita. I've had enough of her. She's not coming near Evelyn again. Lucas's ord sent me over the moon. I was falling in love with him all over again. He reminded me why I marry him and truly wanted him to be my husband. His display of this shiny spine made all his trouble totally worth it. I could also tell my dad became even more impressed with Lucas. It was a total win-win for all three of us. Rita's life quickly fell apart. First, she had a hard time getting out of jail. She had some money, but with legal fees and all, she couldn't meet the bail amount. It also didn't help that her job fired her as soon. As the news of her arrest spread, she was found guilty on multiple charges and was sentenced to 8 months in prison. Rita was also made to pay a hefty fine for her crimes. What broke her the most was that her own son testified against her. Lucas outlined her previous issues with me and established a motive for tampering with my drink. Rita listened to her son and cried like a banshee as the judge gave her a harsh speech and sent her to prison. While the case was ongoing, Lucas and I filed for a restraining order. My dad also joined in and filed for a restraining order, wanting to be safe in case Rita tried to vandalize or attack him after she got out of prison. Thankfully, the judge granted as their restraining orders. It also helped that my dad's office had a CCTV camera that recorded her threats, which was presented as evidence in the other cases against. The whole incident brought me Lucas and my dad even closer than before. Lucas ended up sharing a lot of his childhood trauma with us. My dad and I convinced him to join therapy, and he agreed on our insistence. So far, he is doing great, and we are actually having a good life right now. As for Rita, it looks like she is going to be far away from us for a while if she tries to show up again. She'll be promptly thrown back into prison.